Oh man, you know what's interesting? It's interesting how if Tom Cruise or any other action hero, oh, Tom Cruise is the hero. But it's interesting how if you're a woman in Tom Cruise's life, it seems like you're in a lot of danger. You look at Night and Day, that woman needs to stay away from Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is just bad for women. It's like, oh yeah, he does a lot of good stuff, but meanwhile you're getting choked and shot at, and you see this in a lot of the movies. It's like, Tom Cruise, man, he's not a good person to be with. And just thinking, in movies, it's okay that the women are traumatized as long as the man is really skilled at killing other people. It's like, if you really go back and if you really look in detail in Tom Cruise's movies, you'll really see that he's actually bad for the women. He's actually very dangerous, and he's actually the enemy to whoever the woman is in the movie. It's like he might be, quote, saving you, but really, he's like, the woman's being traumatized, and it's really weird. You see that a lot in Hollywood movies where the woman is being traumatized, but it's okay because there's someone who's gonna save her. It's like, it's so funny. It's like, who's writing this stuff? Is it like 5-year-olds or whatever? Hey, horsey. Who's writing this stuff? It's like if you go back and you look at action movies or even just whatever series, it's like, it's almost like you could say the main purpose is to show a woman being traumatized and abused. Like, seriously, it's like that's what they build the story around. And think how appealing this is for some men in the world, because there's men who like violence. There's men who are violent towards women, and you think of how appealing these movies and TV shows must be. And how the modern movie and TV shows would be perfect for someone who likes to see women get traumatized. So my point is that looks like I need to clean my lens, but who's writing these shows? Is this it, think of the people who worked for Hitler. Think of the people who did the experiments and did the Holocaust. You would think that the people with the same minds are the people in Hollywood. The people in Hollywood aren't killing people, but they have that mind of murder, the murderous mind. I would think a murderous mind. The Mormons in the Pearl of Great Price, in the book of Moses or the book of Abraham, when the flood was going to happen, there's a phrase there of a description of the people in the time of Noah, and it says their imaginations were always thinking of evil or murder. And it uses this phrase, only evil. That the people were only thinking only evil continually. I can believe that now, but back in the day, maybe 10 years ago or 20 years ago, it's like, what? The whole world? Like the women? Like the women were only thinking about evil things, about how to murder, how to attack, how to lie, how to... I mean, what were the women doing in Noah's time? Like, were they killing other people? I mean, were the women having child sacrifice? Were a lot of the women fornicators, adulterers? Were they having like big sex orgies? Or because I guess thinking evil for a woman, to me, a woman thinking evil might be different from a man. Like I imagine a man thinking evil is like, he could be thinking about rape or murder or whatever, like more of a violent type of thinking, whereas a woman might be just thinking like, well, how can I be rich? How can I get more stuff? How can I avoid my responsibilities? How can I whatever. For some reason, I just think of men and women thinking differently as far as evil. Anyway, so I was thinking about how Tom Cruise is not an individual. I was thinking of Tom Cruise is the modern man. Tom Cruise is your brother, your neighbor. And he's into looking good, and he's into being fit. He's into being strong physically. And he's like think about Tom Cruise. There's no spirit about him, about his characters. It's not about every character he has is about being physical. It's all about, he's a very worldly, like Tom Cruise is a very worldly man, and the modern man is a very worldly man, very earthy man, a very alone, independent. He's not about, well, I'm going to help you with your emotional problems. I'm just going to help you with your physical. You're in physical danger. People are trying to murder you. I'm going to save you. He's kind of like the false Messiah in a way. Because if you go and read in the book of Revelations, there will be a Messiah that will come, but it will be more of a physical Messiah. like like a Messiah that will save you. Like there's going to be a physical threat, maybe from UFOs or whatever. And there's no like, I'm going to bring peace to your life, I'm going to help you forgive the past, everything with Tom Cruise is in the present, and you're being traumatized. You're continually being threatened with physical trauma, you know. I think Tom Cruise might be, I mean, who were his parents? Was he traumatized as a child with with an elite Masonic family? I don't know. I think like the movie Night and Day. It's like, is Tom Cruise the villain in the movie? Go watch the movie. If you watch the movie, it's like whenever she's with him, she's getting shot at, she's getting kidnapped. I mean, it's like in the movies with Tom Cruise and other action movies too. It's almost like the woman is being traumatized. It's almost as if it's because she's with the hero. Go watch Indiana Jones. Um, is it good that she's with Indiana? Um, because you can go back and you can look at these stories and you can see points in the movie where it's like, okay, if she left him now, she'd be better off. She'd be in less danger. But what they do is they do this trick in movies, in writing, where he is so skilled, it's almost like, oh, eventually, yeah, you're going to go through a lot of trauma, but eventually you'll be okay. And it's like, that's not okay. Because if you think that, that's like an abusive husband. It's like, yeah, I'm going to abuse you a lot, but eventually it'll be okay. it's like, it's like we can abuse the woman. We can abuse her and abuse her and abuse her, but in the end, she'll be okay. And it's like, what? No. Like, I'm going real deep here. I'm going to like the theology of Hollywood writers. Um, it's like the theology, like I'm talking like before they even write the story, they have the essence or the core of their story, which is the traumatized woman. Everything else is like the outside cores, like the superficial stuff. And it's like, okay, what's the main thing? Traumatized woman. And then other movies, it's the man, right? So it's the traumatized man. But it's like, that's how sick these people are that write movies. That's how sick these people are that write anything. Now, you can say, well, it's symbolic of the story of life. And it's like, not really. Like the story of life, a lot of it for a woman is like just the day-to-day stuff. Yeah, there's trials, but it's like how to be disciplined, how to be patient, how to be forgiving. It's like we need to see women developing characteristics. That's what we should see. We shouldn't just see them being traumatized. It's like every single show, tortured, traumatized, 24 hours a day a woman's being traumatized. And that's why it's so funny. It's funny because it's true. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's just this continual traumatization going on, and it's not okay.